All right, welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive.
Absolutely. Always excited to get into a new one.
This time, we're going to be tackling a classic, The Sixth Sense.
Oh, a great choice. So many layers to peel back with this one.
That's what makes it perfect for a deep dive. We all know about that iconic twist, but we're going way deeper than that.
Exactly. It's more than just a gotcha moment. There's so much going on beneath the surface. The themes, the performances, the way Shyamalan uses every single shot to build suspense.
It's a masterclass in suspense filmmaking, even if you know the twist.
You're so right. It's amazing how it holds up on repeat viewings.
So, to set the scene, we're in Philadelphia in 1999. We meet Malcolm Crowe, a child psychologist played by, you guessed it, Bruce Willis.
Not exactly known for his sensitive roles.
Exactly.
Hmm.
But here he's dealing with the fallout of a case gone wrong.
That failure, that guilt he carries, it's really the driving force behind everything he does in the film.
Absolutely. And then into his life walks Cole Sear, played by a young Haley Joel Osment.
Amazing performance, by the way, especially for a child actor.
Oh, totally. He had to carry so much emotional weight. Cole's dealing with something truly terrifying. He sees dead people.
And not just sees them, he interacts with them. They're constantly present in his life.
Imagine that. Can you imagine being a kid and seeing ghosts everywhere? No wonder he's so isolated and afraid.
It's not your typical ghost story either. These spirits aren't evil or out to get him. They're lost souls seeking resolution, stuck in some sort of limbo.
So Cole's not just dealing with a scary situation. He's become this conduit between the living and the dead.
And Osmond's performance captures that burden so well. The fear, the confusion, the weight of it all. It's heartbreaking.
And it's fascinating to see Bruce Willis, Mr. Action Hero, in such a subdued and emotionally driven role. He's really good at portraying Malcolm's struggle to understand what Cole is going through, while also battling his own demons.
Absolutely. You see that conflict in his eyes. And we can't forget Toni Collette as Cole's mom. She's phenomenal, conveying the anguish of a mother trying to protect her child from something she can't even grasp.
The scene where she finds Cole talking to his grandmother's clothes, it's gut-wrenching. Pure parental fear and helplessness.
Shyamalan really knows how to get under your skin. And one of the ways he does that is by planting these subtle details throughout the film, almost like hidden messages.
Like the thing with the color red.
Yes. The red is everywhere, but it's so subtle you might not even notice it on the first watch. It's a recurring motif, a visual cue that a spirit is present.
It's like a secret code. Once you know about it, you start seeing red everywhere. The balloon, the doorknob, that sweater.
It adds this extra layer of tension. You're constantly scanning the frame, wondering when that flash of red is going to pop up and what it means.
It's brilliant. And speaking of brilliant, we have to talk about the twist.
The twist that launched 1,000 water cooler conversations.
I mean, it's been over 2 decades and people are still talking about it. But for anyone who hasn't seen the film yet, spoiler alert, Malcolm, the psychologist, is actually a ghost himself.
The whole time he's trying to help Cole, he's completely unaware of his own state. And the genius of it is Shyamalan sprinkles clues throughout the film. It's not just a random twist out of nowhere.
Right, it's all there if you look closely.
Mm.
Malcolm only interacts with Cole. His wife seems to be living in her own world.
But you don't realize what it all means until that final reveal.
And then it's like a punch to the gut. Suddenly, everything you thought you knew about the film changes. That scene with Malcolm and his wife, where he thinks she's ignoring him, becomes so much more heartbreaking when you realize she's actually grieving his death.
It takes the film from a chilling ghost story to a meditation on life, death, and what we choose to see and ignore.
Wow. I think we've covered a lot of ground already. The setup, the performances, and of course that mind-blowing twist. But there's so much more to uncover. We'll dive even deeper after a quick break.
You know, it's incredible how that twist reframes everything. Suddenly it's not just a ghost story. It's like, it becomes about so much more.
Totally. Like you said, it makes you think about life and death, even how we deal with things we don't want to face.
Yeah, exactly. We can be so blind to reality, just like Malcolm. And that line, I see dead people.
It's almost a metaphor, isn't it? For all the things we choose to ignore, those uncomfortable truths we push away.
It's like we all have our own ghosts, in a way. Maybe past regrets or fears holding us back.
And it's not just the characters who are blind to the truth. Shyamalan's playing with the audience too, leading us down this path, making us think it's one kind of story.
And bam, that reveal hits you and you have to reevaluate everything you've seen.
Those little details, Malcolm never talking to anyone but Cole, his wife seeming distant, it all clicks into place.
And even that color red motif. It's more than just a creepy visual. When you think about it, it often pops up when there's tension or hidden emotions.
Like when Cole's trying to hide his secret from his mom, there's that red doorknob, or that red balloon at the party where he's feeling so overwhelmed.
Right. It's like those flashes of red are signaling something deeper, not just the supernatural stuff, but these bubbling emotions, these secrets trying to break through.
Seriously, Shyamalan is a master at playing with our expectations. But beyond the mind games, there's this incredible technical skill at work too. His direction is just masterful.
Agreed. The way he builds this atmosphere of dread without relying on cheap jump scares, it's amazing.
Think about that scene where Cole's hiding under the covers and the ghost of the little girl appears in the doorway. The way the camera just hangs there, the silence.
Yeah, it's pure unsettling dread. Or
Okay.
the scene in the tent at the birthday party, those hanging figures, the flickering red lights.
Gives me chills just thinking about it. It's like he knows exactly how to tap into our deepest fears, that primal fear of the unknown.
And let's not forget the cinematography. Those muted colors, the low lighting, the long takes. It's almost like the camera is a character itself.
Like it's peering into the shadows, reflecting the unease of the characters.
It's not just capturing images, it's enhancing the storytelling. And the music, oh man, James Newton Howard's score is just,
Hauntingly beautiful.
yeah.
It adds so much to the mood without being overwhelming. It's like another ghost in the film, weaving in and out, underlining the tension and emotion.
It's the perfect example of how a score can elevate a film. And what's really impressive about The Sixth Sense is it's not just one thing. It's horror, mystery, drama.
And at its core, it's about these really human themes, our fears, our regrets, how we connect with each other.
And the search for meaning, that's what makes it resonate so deeply. Even the ghosts, they're not evil. They're just lost souls longing for resolution.
It makes you see death in a different light, doesn't it? Not just as an end, but as something we all have to grapple with. And maybe even in death, there's a chance for healing, for closure. We've talked a lot about Haley Joel Osment, but seriously, his performance as Cole deserves all the praise.
Absolutely. He was phenomenal. It's such a challenging role, so emotionally demanding. And he was, what, like 10 years old at the time?
To portray that level of fear and vulnerability, and yet also have these moments of strength and wisdom, it's remarkable.
You really believe in Cole's struggle. And the chemistry between him and Bruce Willis, it's palpable. This bond forming between this troubled kid and the doctor who's desperate to help him to redeem himself.
And Bruce Willis, talk about a departure from his usual roles, that quiet intensity he brings to Malcolm, that vulnerability, it's really moving.
It's such a nuanced performance. You see the guilt eating away at him, the desperation to make things right.
And Toni Collette is Cole's mom. Man, she's amazing. She just portrays that mother's love and desperation so honestly, that struggle to protect your child from something you don't understand.
You feel every ounce of her pain, her fear. Those scenes with her are some of the most powerful in the film.
And, even the supporting cast is strong. Donnie Wahlberg as Vincent Gray, Malcolm's former patient.
Yeah, he's only in a few scenes, but his presence lingers throughout the film. It adds to that whole theme of trauma and how it can shape our lives.
So we've dissected the twist, dug into the themes, talked about the amazing acting, Shyamalan's direction. What's next in our Sixth Sense journey?
Well, we can't ignore the film's legacy, can we? The impact it had, all the fan theories it sparked. The Sixth Sense didn't just break box office records, it became a cultural phenomenon.
Oh, definitely. People were obsessed with it, debating the ending, searching for clues. And those fan theories, there's something else.
Some are pretty wild, some are surprisingly insightful.
I'm curious, what are some of the most interesting ones you've come across?
Oh, there's one that suggests the color red isn't just about the ghost, but it represents Cole's inner state, like his anger and all those pent-up emotions.
Oh, that's interesting. I can see that. The red appearing when he's hiding his secret, when he's feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah, it adds a whole psychological layer to it, Like maybe his ability is connected to his own internal struggles, not just some external force.
Mind blown. Okay, what else?
This one's a bit out there, but some people think Cole's mom might be a ghost too.
Whoa, wait, really?
It's a theory. People point to her being distant, how Malcolm never actually talks to her directly.
Huh. That's a really different way to look at it. I'll have to pay attention to that next time I watch it.
And then there's the one, kind of dark, that the whole film is a metaphor for child abuse.
Yeah, I've heard that one. It's heavy stuff, but it shows how open to interpretation the film is.
Exactly. Some see the ghosts as repressed memories, Malcolm as a figure helping Cole confront his trauma, It's certainly thought-provoking.
Okay, and how about the theory that Cole is actually the one who's dead?
Ah, yes, the ultimate twist. It suggests that maybe Cole died in that church shooting at the beginning, and the whole film is his journey through the afterlife.
Whoa, that would explain why he sees the dead, why he seems so disconnected from the world. But that's a pretty bleak interpretation.
Definitely not a happy ending there. But, whether you believe these theories or not, the fact that they exist is incredible.
It shows how the sixth sense really gets under your skin, sticks with you long after you've seen it.
It's a testament to Shyamalan's storytelling that it continues to spark these discussions and interpretations.
Okay, before we wrap up this part, I have to ask, those spirits, what do you think they represent in the bigger picture of the film? Are they just ghosts? Or is there something more to it?
Honestly, that's a question that keeps coming back to me. What's so brilliant about The Sixth Sense is it doesn't give us a neat little answer. It's up to us to figure it out.
You're right, that ambiguity is part of what makes it so captivating.
I mean, on one level, they are ghosts trapped because of their unfinished business.
Yeah.
But they could also be metaphors, representing our own internal struggles, those regrets, the traumas, the things we try to push down but never really go away.
Well, that's an interesting way to think about it. Like, they embody the unresolved parts of our lives.
Exactly. And whether we see them as literal ghosts or these symbolic figures, they serve this purpose in the film. They force the characters, and us as viewers, to confront the things that haunt us, literally and figuratively.
I like that. It's like sometimes facing our fears, acknowledging our pain, is the only way to find peace. All right, welcome back. We're in the final act of our deep dive into The Sixth Sense. Feels like we've really gone under the hood with this film, from the performances and that incredible twist to the themes that make it so much more than just a ghost story.
Right. We've explored the craftsmanship, the artistry, but now it's time to shift gears and talk about the impact. The Sixth Sense wasn't just a film, it was a cultural event.
It totally was.
Yeah.
Not just a box office hit, but a phenomenon. Everyone was talking about it, trying to figure out those clues, debating the ending.
And twist endings, they've been around forever, but The Sixth Sense did something different.
It definitely struck a chord. Maybe it was that fascination with the supernatural, that desire to explore what's beyond, those big questions about life and death. But it also offered something else, something real.
Yeah, it had that emotional depth. It wasn't just about the shock value of the twist. It was about human connection, about grief and loss and the search for meaning, things that everyone can relate to on some level.
And like you said, it sparked so many conversations. And of course, every iconic film seems to spawn its own set of fan theories. The Sixth Sense is no exception.
Oh, the theories are out there. Some are pretty outlandish, I'll admit. But some are surprisingly insightful. They make you think about the film in a whole new way.
All right, spill it. Which ones have caught your attention?
Well, there's one that suggests the color red. We talked about that motif earlier. But it might not just be a cue for the ghosts. It could also represent Cole's internal state, like his anger, all those repressed emotions.
That's interesting. I can kind of see that. The red doorknob appearing when he's trying to keep his secret. The red balloon at the party where he's so overwhelmed.
Right. It adds another dimension to it. Like maybe his ability isn't just something that's happening to him, but it's tied to his own internal struggles.
Okay, that's a good one. What else have you got?
All right, this one's a little wild. Some people theorize that Cole's mom might actually be a ghost too.
Whoa, hold on. I haven't heard that one before. Cole's mom. Really?
It's out there. The theory goes that she's so distant, Malcolm never interacts with her directly.
Huh. I'll have to rewatch with that in mind. It would definitely add a whole other layer of tragedy to the story.
And then there's the theory, and it's pretty dark, that the whole film is actually a metaphor for child abuse.
Yeah, that's a heavy one.
Yeah.
But it shows how open to interpretation the film is, right?
Exactly. Some people see the ghosts as representing Cole's repressed memories, and Malcolm as this figure who's helping him to confront that trauma. It definitely makes you think.
Okay, last one. Hit me with it.
This is the real mind bender. The theory that Cole himself is actually dead.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that one. That he died in that church shooting at the beginning. And everything we're seeing is his journey through the afterlife.
It's definitely a popular theory. It explains why he sees the dead, why he's so detached from the world. But man, it's a bleak interpretation, if true.
Definitely not a feel-good ending there.
Yeah.
But honestly, whether you buy into those theories or not, it's just amazing how a film can spark so much discussion and debate.
It really shows how The Sixth Sense gets under your skin, stays with you.
It's a testament to Shyamalan's skill as a filmmaker, how he crafted something that continues to intrigue and provoke decades later.
Absolutely. It's a film that demands to be talked about, to be revisited and reinterpreted. Each viewing, you notice something new, something you missed before.
It's the mark of a true classic, isn't it? It keeps revealing new layers, new meanings.
And before we wrap this up, there's something I want to talk about. It's something that I keep coming back to. Those spirits in the film, what do you think they really represent? I mean, are they just ghosts? Or is there something more to it?
That's the big question, isn't it? And I think what's so brilliant about The Sixth Sense is that it doesn't give us an easy answer. It leaves it open to interpretation. It makes us grapple with our own ideas about life, death, and what might be out there.
It's not telling us what to think. It's inviting us to participate in the mystery.
Exactly. And on one hand, they're ghosts, bound to this world by their unfinished business. But they could also be metaphors, representing our own internal demons, those things we try to bury but can never truly escape, the regrets, the traumas, the shadows of the past.
So whether we interpret them as literal ghosts or these representations of our internal struggles, they serve this purpose in the film. They force the characters and us as viewers to confront what haunts us.
Right. And it makes you think, sometimes facing our fears, acknowledging our pain, that's the only way to find some kind of peace to move forward.
I think that's a great note to end on.
I agree. This has been an incredible deep dive. We've covered so much ground. The plot, the twist, the performances, the fan theories. But more than anything, I think we've uncovered what makes The Sixth Sense so powerful and enduring. It's a film that speaks to those universal human experiences, those feelings of grief and loss, and the search for meaning. And it does so in a way that's both terrifying and deeply moving.
It stays with you long after the credits roll. It makes you think, makes you question, makes you feel, and that's the power of great storytelling.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So that wraps up our deep dive into The Sixth Sense, but we want to hear from you. What resonated with you most in the film? What are your interpretations? Share your thoughts. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep those minds open.